So yesterday we saw a brand new drone, the DJI Avata 2, and today we see a brand new firmware and DJI flight update for both the DJI Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3. Let's get into it. So the latest firmware update for the DJI Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3 is version 01.00.0400, and we also have a new DJI RC2 version, which is 02.02.0000, a lot of zeros. Now, I've actually been testing the beta version of this firmware update over the last few weeks, whilst I've been reviewing and testing the DJI Avata 2. Now, this actual firmware update works brilliant, the DJI flight update works brilliant, so no issues there in relation to any problems, any bugs, any lagging. It is fantastic. But it also brings some fantastic support now to the Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3. So if you picked up the DJI Avata 2 in any of the combo versions, you're going to have got the DJI Goggles 3. Really good goggles. I would say the best that has actually been released now from DJI. Super comfortable, and we have the cameras on the front of them. Well, this firmware update now brings support so you can use your DJI Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3 with the DJI Goggles 3. So this is fantastic. It means you're going to be able to use your DJI Mini 4 Pro or Air 3 with these goggles. And these, like I say, are really comfortable. They've also got this like flap on the side and back of the goggles now. And this is going to prevent any light leaks. I find the view on here is probably the most sharpest it's ever been. The battery's built into it. So really good to see that. Now, also, if you pick up the DJI Avata 2, you're going to have got the new Motion Controller 3. This allows you to control the Avata with just this, but you can also now fly the Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3 again with the motion controller. So if you pick up this drone, basically, you're going to be able to use the controller and the goggles to fly your cinematic drones as well. So it gives you a different kind of like flying experience. You're going to be able to fly your cinematic drone, and rather than looking down on the controller, you're going to be able to look through these goggles and get that really good bird's eye view, 155-degree field of view. So it's really good, really nice and sharp. So if you pick up this, make sure you update so you can fly your cinematic drones as well. And also the Goggles 3 now support Ocusync 4, which is the same as the Mini 4 Pro and the DJI Air 3. So that means the transmission is much better now, not as much latency. So I've found a difference. The signal coming out of both of these drones is phenomenal. Now, because it's Ocusync 4 on these three drones, the Mini 3 Pro and the Mavic 3 Pro, they don't support Ocusync 4. So I'm not 100%, but I just can't see support for those drones with the Goggles 3 because it's a different Ocusync system. We've had this before where you can't use the RC2 controller with the Mini 3 Pro or the Mavic 3 Pro. So I can't see you being able to use the Goggles 3 if you have a Mini 3 Pro or a Mavic 3 Pro. But what you can also do is you can get your Goggles 3 and then you could fly your Mini 4 Pro looking through the Goggles 3 to see out of that camera. But instead of using the motion controller, you can use your RC2 to actually control this. And I think this is like the best combination possible. Rather than using that, this is so much better and it's super easy to do. So above Go Fly, all you have to do is click connect, and then this screen now will go black. So what you do is you get your phone. So you get your mobile phone that's got the DJI Fly app on. You get a USB-C cable and then you connect into the back of the goggles here and run that cable into your phone. Automatically, it will pick it up. They will all be connected and synced. And then what you do is you just take your drone off just like you would do normally. So you're going to have these goggles on, but you're going to be just controlling the drone via this controller. So you're not looking at this screen. This screen will be black, but the experience is going to be so much better. So if you have the DJI Mini 4 Pro, or the DJI Air 3, give this a try. You're going to really enjoy this. Now, with any firmware update, settings can get changed, so it's really important to actually just check that everything is correct and how you have personally set it up. So I'm going to show you some of those now what I would actually check before I log off and fly. So click on the top right hand corner, those three dots. Now straight away I can see an issue here. So obstacle avoidance action has been reset. I want that switched to bypass. So when I'm flying this drone, it's using all of these sensors, and then if it detects an object, it can actually bypass them. Currently it's switched off, so those sensors aren't on. So I'm going to turn them on, so I'm going to hit bypass. Now if I was actually flying through a tight space or a gap, I would turn them off. But majority of the time, I want them switched on. Bypassing options, I'll keep them to normal. I want my radar map on, so that's all correct. Now return to home. For some reason, this is showing 55 meters, a really bizarre number that I haven't selected myself. I think I know why. So if we go down a little bit more, Under flight protection, max altitude has been set to 55 meters. Again, a really bizarre number. So it's going to depend on which country you're in. But for me, I'm going to have this at 120 meters. So I'm going to change that there. I'm going to click agree. So that means the max height I can fly this drone up is 120 meters, 400 feet. So now if I go back to auto return to home altitude, it's going to give me that option now to also increase that up to 120 meters. So really important to check them. The rest of them settings are all right, but go right down to the very bottom on then advanced safety settings. That needs to be on return to home, which means if you was to have a disconnect, if your controller switches off, a problem that occurs when your drone is in the air, you lose signal, that drone is going to automatically come back to its home location. So have that set to return to home. Now, if you're on a moving vehicle or a boat to something where your home location is actually changing all the time, you want to set to hover, but I would say 90% of that time, you want that also down to return to home. Visual positioning and obstacle sensing, make sure you have that switched on. If you turn that off, that's going to also turn off the downward positioning sensor. So that drone is going to come down really fast. This is going to be handy if you're landing your drone on like a moving boat, vehicle. That's good for that, but it's also going to come down so fast it can cause damage to that drone. So I would say switch that on. Now under control, nothing normally gets changed here. I have it on metric. Everything else looks to be the same. Yeah, that's all fine. Now under camera, me personally, I actually shoot in D-Log-M. This is going to be a flat color profile, but it's 10 bits, so it's the best in terms of quality for video. So I want it selected to D-Log-M. Now if you're just starting off, you don't really know anything about color grading, you just want the best kind of like quickest results, select normal. And then coding format, for me personally, I would have it to H265. That's also changed. Now video subtitles, they take up so much room when you're actually looking at your memory card after you've shot. You're going to see all these video files and photos, and you're going to see all these little white files. These are all subtitles. I never use them, never need them, so I always have them switched off. That's also defaulted. If we go down here now, I want my grid lines switched on, so they're still on, which is the rule of thirds. And then under style, this one, it's like they want you to have that sharpness. So every single time there's a firmware update, style always seems to get defaulted back to 0. Now with the Mini 4 Pro especially, and the DJI Air 3 to be honest, the sharpness is really strong and sometimes it can look a bit too artificial, a bit too fake. So I actually decrease the sharpness to -1. So that's also changed. Now don't forget, I also have my own DJI cheat sheets. We go through all the different settings on here in a handy guide that you can have with you all the time. You can download it to your phone, you can print it out. They're available for the Mini 4 Pro, the Mini 3 Pro, the Air 3, the Mavic series, the Avatar. So these are really handy to have. They go through showing you how to get the very most out of your drone, the key settings to use, what not to do. Really handy to have, a really small little guide. You want to go and check them out. They're going to be linked at the top of the description and they're available on my website immediately to go and pick up. So me personally, I'm going to be using this drone and the DJI Avatar. I'm actually off to the NAB convention, which is in Las Vegas. Really excited to go there and actually shoot a lot of footage and see new products. So make sure you follow me on Instagram to follow along in my journey. And because I'm going to the NAB convention, I'm going for just over a week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually have a 20% store-wide sale on whilst I'm away. So all you have to do is actually enter discount code NAB. So I'm going to put that on, so that's available right now from the start of this video up until I get back in just over a week's time. And that will give you 20% off literally everything. All the cheat sheets, my DJI LUTs, everything on that website will be 20% off, so a really good time to pick them up. So a really good update there, especially the DJI Avatar 2. So if you have this or it's coming soon, it means you're going to be able to use those goggles 3 with your cinematic drones as well. So a really good flying experience there. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, just hit that like button. It really does help get this video to more places, and subscribe, because whilst I'm away, I'm going to be filming some new products as well. Can't wait to share them with you, doing some more footage on the Avatar 2 and the cinematic drones as well. So I'm going to be a really busy boy, so I can't wait to share that with you. So subscribe. I'm trying to get 20% of you to be subscribers. Currently it's about 18% of you guys who watch these videos are subscribers. So if you can hit the subscribe button, it would really mean a lot. I appreciate every single one of you watching this video. Have a fantastic weekend and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.